Don't you just hate that? The moment that you're streaming and your computer just totally bugs out. It gives a blue screen of death, or it completely crashes out and you have no idea what the hell is going on. You start asking on the forums, you start diagnosing yourself, perhaps you even um, opened up your computer to see what the problem is and still couldn't find out what the problem is. Well, as usual, my name is Arctomian. Welcome to episode number 9. I hope you enjoyed the previous episodes and I hope you will enjoy the upcoming episodes. In episode 9 we are gonna discuss that particular hassle that streamers have. Because, guys, in all fairness and honesty, we all know that streaming is taking quite some capacity of your computer. Whether you're running an Intel or an AMD, it doesn't matter. And what kind of graphical card, it doesn't matter. It still runs a lot. Especially when you're using XSplit or OBS nowadays, is a little bit heavier as well. So we're gonna go over to the software part and the diagnostic diagnostic software in order to discover on what problems are. Jesus, come on. Before we gonna begin over that, there are things that I cannot show you guys simply because it's either external application or it takes too much time, and I don't want to make the tutorials after the ones that took an hour longer than 30 minutes. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post them below in the comment box or PM me personally. You can do that as well. And of course you can visit me on my personal stream at www.twitch.tv/Arctomian, of course. Let's get started. Let's get to our oh so dear demo site. By the time you're watching this, probably I've already updated it again. But for now, we've been doing this for a long time now. Episodes, I was just wondering, 9 episodes, that's quite long actually. We went over OBS, XSplit, Twitch, custom parts, Photoshop creations like overlay and that kind of stuff, debots, or debot and the other bots that are currently being used by streamers, communication software, twitchstarter.com, sponsors, Twitter bots, my own personal software that I'm trying to create, Twitch tips, Reddit, you name it. And underneath it you can find here, with a complete typo over, I just noticed, the software diagnostic tools. Alright, so what's the first one? We're gonna go over a couple of them. Physical memory, we want to test that definitely, because we want to know what the memory part is doing for us while we're streaming. Our GPU, also known as graphical card. Our HDD, also known as hard disk, hard drive disk, depends on how you want to say it. The CPU. And identification. Identification software is basically, we'll get to that. Let's start off with the physical memory software. For the physical memory software we're using Memtest 86, but it's actually 68 as you can see up here. I'm changing that the moment that I'm done with this tutorial. And let's get over there. So what does Memtest actually do? Memtest is doing a stress test and a diagnostic on errors that you have with your physical memory. Now this is kind of a little bit of more of the tech geek kind of software that you want to use. This is not only for people that have their computers overclocked, because those people definitely want to test out the strains and the stress on their physical memory, but it's also for people that just bought a new PC, for example an AMD or an Intel, and not a new PC or CPU, I mean a new memory, and I want to test a new memory out. And the way on how to do that is not running it once, but running it like 19 or 20 times to see if it actually has any bugs. Now the thing out of this is that this software, which you can download in a WinRAR file, needs to be put on USB drive, and then once done, as you can see, it runs kind of an BIOS application. You can download it as ISO as well, but in order to make it handier, because I can't, like I said, it's taking too long if I'm gonna actually show you guys on how to work this out. So what I did on Arctutorial, I basically put a link next to it which says video tutorial. If you want to know anything about that, on how to use memtest or install memtest, then simply click on the video tutorial and you will get to a great guide that reviews on how to use memtest. This is also if you have any suspicion that that one of your memory banks might be flawed, bugged or broken. That's memtest 86. It's completely free, by the way. Forgot to mention that. Actually, everything I think is completely free underneath here. Alright, and what's the next one? Video card stability test. That's the GPU one. Now a lot of people actually don't know what kind of software would be best to test out the stress of their GPU and if it's a good card, graphical card that they purchased. I'm using video card stability test. You can download it over here, freestonegroup.com, video card stability test.html or HTML, sorry, without the L. And you'll download a WinRAR. You'll see this, and this is actually something that I can show you. There we go. Once you have installed it, oh, I already have it open, you'll get an interface like this. Now if I want to start up a benchmark, simply click there and it runs a stability test. Now over here you will find out that there's a time running at the moment. It's running the pixels that your GPU currently can handle. It renders tests the render distance, and what you basically do is you let this run for, well, let's say an hour or something. You have to do groceries or something like that. You put on the video card stability test. You're gonna go do your groceries, and when you get back after an hour, you can see whether your computer crashed or not. Basically, that's basically on how it runs. The other one that you want to do is high definition render, which is the benchmark. And if you wait 3 minutes, doesn't take 3 minutes, I assume. There we go. It shows how high the graphical capabilities of your GPU can handle within a certain time frame. Now, as you can see, it's got sort of a loading bar underneath it. It will go all the way up, and then after that it will give an option to it as well. As you can see, it runs nice on the left side, your FPS as well. So there you go. You can even run this while you have your OBS or your XSplit you're running. At the moment I'm only having my XSplit running on local recording, of course, but that's basically video stability cards. Next one, Crystal Disk Info. That's for your hard disk drive. Hard drive disk. Damn, I made that mistake, didn't I? Crystal Disk Info crystalmark.info /software and so on and so on. I'll post a link underneath there as well. But of course you can always go to the demo site. Now, sorry, I have to burp a little bit. This is a hard drive monitor tool. You can diagnose your hard disk, but did I say diagnosed? I don't even know if that's actually correct English. You can analyze, there we go. My mother always told me if you can't pronounce a word, just find a different word for it. So analyze your hard disk, but you can't cure or fix anything on your hard disk, which is completely obvious because once your hard disk starts to show a fault, for example, the metal disk it's got how do you say it, damage on it, then there's not that much else you can do besides try to transfer over files and throw away the disk. What it does, however, is it shows the capacity of your rate per minute, I wanted to say, your RPM, as well as the temperature that your hard disk is currently running on. A couple of other nice features that it has. Actually, I don't have it installed at the moment. Used to run it in the past, and again, it's completely for free. Do not press this download button, by the way. There's a download button somewhere else, if I'm correct. Where is it? Download page, batch, references, download, over here. Press on this download button. So it's basically a monitor, and we know this actually from back in the days when we had Vista with the gadgets as well, and those gadgets were based on the server, on the same system build up as this software. That same counts, by the way, for the CPU software and other things as well. CPU, 7 bytes. Yes. 7 bytes. It's a CPU stress tester. A lot of people have been looking for this one as well, for a software package that's actually free, that tests out your CPU capabilities. So it says completely, it is completely what it says here. It tests the CPU as well as virtual all parts of the motherboard for errors, bugs or defects parts. So it's not actually only for your CPU as well as for your motherboard. So it's from 7bytes.com. I will post a link somewhere if I can. And if I can find a tutorial on it, I will add that as well. If I can't find a tutorial on it, tough luck, you're gonna have to find one yourself on YouTube. But it's a very handy tool. Next one, or the last one already. Man, we're burning through this. Alright, the last one is the identification. You know, there were many times that I was talking with brothers from another motherboard about computer capabilities and what I actually had in my computer, and the only thing that I always forgot to mention what I had in my computer was my motherboard. I did not know what type of motherboard I had, and I don't want to open up my PC every time I'm talking to another geek to tell him what my hardware is. For that you have software actually to diagnose for that. It's called Everest Corporation. There's a little side note to it. I'm gonna explain to you that in a moment. You can run the Extreme and the Business Edition. I hope I have the right website over here. If not, then post on the comment below. If I did not. What it basically does, it gives diagnostic, and it is capable actually for the paid version to do optimization as well as bug fixings. But don't do that. You just want to use this tool actually to check on what kind of hardware you have in your computer. I don't have it installed at the moment as well, and I'll tell you in a moment why as well. But it's a very handy software to use temporarily to know what kind of hardware you have in your computer, and what the name is, what the types of a certain name is. For example, GPU, NVIDIA, GeForce type, blah 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 blah. And this is the one that diagnoses everything on it. Even if I'm correct, it even diagnosed the monitor. So now, the warning that I want to have, give to you is, people, if you want to use this, download it, install it, use it. after you use it, directly go to your control panel, to your computer, to your programs again, and deinstall it again. This thing is running a lot of side commercial on it, a lot of a lot of malware and all that shit. And you don't want to be bothered or hassled with it. Aside of that, if you leave it deinstalled, it will constantly ask you to register or purchase their product as well. So don't be a fool. This is the only program that you want to how do you say? Oh, come on, Ark. Oh, it's late, guys. It's been a long day. I had a lot on my mind, but I'm not gonna bother you with that. This is the only program that you want to deinstall the moment that you used it after. So that's basically the 4 most important programs plus the extra identification program. I hope it was useful to you. Next up, next week, I think we're gonna go over a piece of software that I've got mailed to one of you guys to me, which is about the buffering problem within Twitch.tv, and there's a nice way to solve this apparently. So I'm testing it still out for legitimacy and that kind of stuff. I haven't got any answer back from Twitch support or Twitch API, so I'm gonna have to wait on that before. That's the reason why I made this tutorial this week, and I will wait for it next week. Now, do not forget to subscribe, of course. That will make me a very happy camper. It shows that I'm not doing this shit for nothing. Of course, leave a comment and a like if you want to, and if you find these tutorials useful, please go to the demo site at www.twitch.tv/arctutorial and follow. This channel is never being streamed on, but it will actually show your appreciation for these tutorials. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I'll hope to see you on episode number 10. Until then, I'm Arctomian. Have a good stream. Ta-ta.